2, 3, 4.
Drumroll please! We are joined by two members of Skyrocket Jack. We have the esteemed Mr. E, and who's on vocals, and we have Miles, who thrashes it out on the drums. How are you boys?
Very well, thank you.
Very nice.
Excellent, excellent. So let's rewind, let's take it back. Mr. E, I'll start with you, sir.
Okay.
I'm just going to peer over this monitor to see you. Whose idea was Skyrocket Jack? Whose idea was it? Who's behind it all?
It was our bass player Naomi. She made me do it.
She made you do it?
Yeah.
So what was the inspiration then? Because there is quite a gruesome tale behind the name, isn't there?
There is, yeah. It was like, basically, I kind of agreed with Naomi that we were both sick of seeing too many bands around trying to be too serious, and we thought it's time to bring a bit of stupidity back to punk. So we thought, let's do that, and it was all Naomi's idea. She sort of heard me playing some songs I had on my guitar, and she said they're really good, let's do them in a band, and that's how the whole band sort of started, really.
And how did you get in touch with the rest of the Motley crew, aka Miles and the lads?
I used to be in another band with Lewis on guitar and Same on keyboard. That was very short-lived. We only did rehearsals and never did a gig. It was called the Billingtons, and I said to them, well, instead of disbanding this completely, why don't you just join this new ska thing we want to do? So yeah, that was those two. And then Miles came along a little later. We did have another drummer, but he had to go back to his home planet. So then we got Miles in because he said he wanted to play drums in a ska band. So I went down to his music shop and said, right, Miles, you're in the band. And that was that.
I kind of knew him for about an hour.
Before they
come down.
And before they arm twisted you, and you've only been playing drums though for not that great amount of time.
Really, kind of since I joined the band, really. But I mean, what happened was that Dan kind of came down to the shop and said, "What do you play?" I listed off a load of stringed instruments, and I kind of mentioned, I play a bit of drums. And he went, "Drums, great, fantastic, come down." So I came down to the rehearsal, and I turned up in a Green Lantern hoodie, and he said, "You're in."
Yeah,
that's all it needed.
Yeah.
He didn't play any beats. As soon as I saw him walking down the alleyway there to Melrose Yard in his Green Lantern hoodie, I just said, "Yeah, Green Lantern, you're in the band." Like,
you're the man for me.
Yeah, I didn't care at the time whether I had to teach him to play drums myself. I thought I'll get him in the band.
Brilliant. And would you? I mean, you mentioned the ska punk sound there. Is that how you would describe your sort of vibe, as it were?
We like to call it geek punk, don't we, Miles?
Yes, we do.
Is that your own brand?
I like to think so. Weezer sort of started it. That's more geek rock.
Yeah.
We're sort of on the punkier side, so geek punk. But punk because it's different, not necessarily kind of aggressive, but just because it's a bit odd, like some early punk was.
And kind of our show's more full of 80s characters. You know, you'll often see Paul Daniels or, you know, a different...
Not in real life, obviously.
No.
Which is a darn shame. I think it'd add to your sets really, really well.
I would love to get an old faded star at one of our gigs once, but yeah.
I'd love to get Mr. Blobby.
That would be awesome.
That surely wouldn't be too hard, lads. Seriously.
Yeah, but we could get anyone to put us suit on, couldn't we, really?
But Miles, just explain your shows, because they are a massive explosion of just utter mental silliness. And when I came to see, first saw you last year, the end of last year, and I was completely blown away. I left with like a smile literally bulleted to my face. I was like, it was brilliant. So how would you describe, for anyone who hasn't seen you, how would you describe it?
Well, I'd say it's very, very energetic. Don't expect any seriousness out of the event. And just as long as you grew up in the 80s and 90s, you're most likely to get it. I mean, beforehand, you'll enjoy the music, you'll enjoy the ska, because that's a little bit before, but kind of everything that's involved in it, we just have fun, and what we lack in talent, we make up in enthusiasm.
And Mr. E, talk us through your repertoire, because you've got some. You played a couple of them tonight. You had Light Trains and
Misery House.
Misery House. What is your gripe with Pat Sharp? Please tell me. What is this deep rooted?
Well, yeah, fairly. When I was a little boy, I applied to go on his show, Funhouse, if anyone remembers it, and he basically didn't get back in touch with me. I sent him a letter and everything, a really heartfelt letter saying, "Pat, I love your show. Please let me come on. I really want to jump around in the balloons," and he wouldn't let me. He just didn't get back in touch. So I thought, right, I'll remember that. And then when the band started, I thought, I know what I want to do. I want to write a song that's anti-Pat Sharp.
And it goes down really well at gigs, funnily enough,
people
doesn't
like it? I mean, like, because we get somebody from the crowd to come on the stage and deface a poster of Pat Sharp while we play the song. So that usually goes down pretty well because people like drawing stuff and being artistic. So that's good. Yeah, it's just like because of that really, and I think it's I don't necessarily like like really hate him, but I'm really annoyed with him, so I'm letting that out through my music.
I was going to say, is it quite a cathartic experience to be able to perform that like on a nightly basis? Because you guys do some real hard grafting. You're gigging all the time, aren't
Yeah,
you?
we've got like one a week at the moment, pretty much, and that's a lot considering we all have day jobs.
And also, are you pleased with the response you get from the crowd? Because every one that I've been to where you've played, you're just given this rapturous reception, and everyone's like bang behind you, even when at first people are like, "What on earth is this?" Is that your mission? Is that your mission to turn people's heads and like sort of?
I think so, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, usually it's kind of first song, no one quite understands what's going on. But I think that there's kind of a lot happening on stage. Dan kind of goes into the crowd and he's very much in keeping with audience participation. And he, takes sprays around and talks about the 80s and 90s, as we talked about earlier. And we kind of play a very strange song at first and then we kind of ease everyone in. So I think everyone enjoys it in the end, but not necessarily many people get it straight away.
Yeah, it usually takes a couple of songs. Usually, as soon as I produce the Argos sign for the song Argos, they usually get into it. But although we've started restructuring the set a little bit more, so we're not quite as predictable. But yeah, a couple of songs in, people are usually on side. There's a few people who get it right from the start, and they'll be dancing throughout the entire set. But everybody else, they'll kind of just get it towards the end. We prefer to play later on in the evening because then people have had a bit to drink, so then they're more likely to dance and do silly things like we are, and it goes down a lot better. But we'll play any gig anywhere. So. And
I was talking of your gigs. You've got some cracking ones coming up. You're supporting the Rezillos?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a booking that's been arranged for us by a guy who's working with us on our label. So we've got a 7-inch single coming out as well. But then the Rezillos gig, that's going to be at the Broodnell in Leeds. I think it's the 16th of June, I think that's the date, because it was a bit of a confusion about the date, but it's been sorted now, 16th of June. Yeah, we've got main support to the Rezillos, so I'm pretty happy about that. That's lyrically, they're a big influence, so that's really good.
But I mean, York is a kind of our hometown, so we do a lot of gigs here and we kind of move about quite a lot around kind of the Yorkshire area. But we're always doing gigs here. And,
yeah, people are going to catch us all the time. I mean, if they just look at our website, skyrocketjack.co.uk, all the dates are on there. It's always updated.
It's a marvellous website. Can I just say that? Because you've got cookery tips on there and everything. And a bit of, like band bios. Whose idea was the cookery tips? And are you actually any good at cooking?
Well, as you can see from the videos, I'm not any good at cooking. But I just thought there might be a few people out there who might find this interesting to watch and see what I put into my body on a daily basis. So yeah, I just kind of had the idea one day. I was like, I want to do something a bit different on the website. Let's have a cookery section. And there's more to come, but I've just not recorded anything else yet.
It was hardly going to be lobster thermidor, was it?
No, really not. No. Partly because I don't eat meat, but yeah.
Well, that too. Mainly bread and cheese is our diet.
And also, you've got a tattoo for your love of tea. Is that right? Is that the reason?
Yeah, I love tea. Yeah, it's my favourite drink. I can drink 1,000 cups in 1 second. Yeah,
awesome.
I quite like it.
Awesome. So, guys, where can people check out more of your stuff? And what have you got sort of in the pipeline recording wise?
Recording, we've just found a nice young man who we found in Huddersfield the other night actually, who was on the soundboard and we were playing a gig there. He's offered to record our second album with us, so that's looking good. And then we've got our first album, which is due to come out at the same time as the 7-inch vinyl, which has been released on TV's Over Records. And we're bringing
out pink, if I remember.
Yeah, bright pink vinyl. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. So we're going to bring that out at the same time as the first album, which comes out with a special edition of our own comic book. So we're going to bring that out. And then second album will shortly follow, maybe in a couple of months' time, I think.
Yeah, well, we've got so many songs now that it's kind of... when I came into the band, they were pretty much ready to make an album. And since I've been in the band,
we've done about 5 or 6
so
more,
many songs.
Yeah.
It's kind of getting to the point where we should really start thinking about a second one. Even though the first one is now, yeah.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the artwork to come back on the comic book. And then,
well, that's it. At least you've not got a difficult second album then. So that's it. If you've got if you've got so many songs, that's all good.
More of the same silliness.
Yeah.
That's great. That's what we like to hear. So, guys, where can people then check out your stuff? Is it just the website, or where else are you on all the social networking sites and stuff?
There's a man creeping around in this room whose presence is not known to anyone because you can't see what's going on. He's got a camera and he's called Luke, and he does our Facebook. He's also our media master. He makes our videos for us and things like that. So you can go on Facebook, which Luke regularly updates. You can find stuff out about us there. Or just go to our website, which is skyrocketjack.co.uk, and everything's on there.
Skyrocket Jack, Miles, Mr. E, we salute you.
Thanks very
Thank you for coming down to BBC Introducing in York and North Yorkshire.
Oh, thank you for
Thanks
putting
very
us on.
much. Cheers.
Bosh! Yeah, brilliant.
Good.
How's that? All right.
Yeah, brilliant. Nice one.
Excellent. Excellent.
Gigging.